played.
I'm in the game, boys. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the montage intro, and if you enjoyed what you learned throughout this video, please reach out to me in Discord down in the description below, and I'll be more than happy to coach you. Enjoy the rest of the video. So my flaw, I think here, and I've noticed that I've done this as well, is I'm like shifting between enemies, right? So you want to kill one person, and ideally, like at the subconscious level, you're gonna want to pick the person that's like best to kill. And in this case, you might think it's the Phoenix, but I actually think the best person to kill here would be the Clove, because the Clove is the one that's looking at me. Try to understand that shooting quicker is not associated with killing someone faster, right? It's actually kind of the opposite. Like the more you shoot with this weapon, at least with like most of the weapons in this game, it's not gonna get you kills quicker. It's actually gonna make it harder if you get the kills in most cases, unless you're lucky. Same thing with spraying. In a lot of cases, like if you're spraying with a Vandal or a Phantom from long range, it's actually gonna be better for you to kind of wait, like burst or tap is what I'm trying to say here. So really making a conscious effort to like try to tap their heads, and it really does work if you really make a conscious effort to just like, okay, I'm gonna try to hit their heads here instead of like just doing whatever I'm doing unconsciously, which is like spraying and aiming for the body. It might not always be the easiest for you at first, but it's absolutely going to be worth it. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making a guide on how to use Team Deathmatch in order to enhance your mechanics in Valorant quite significantly, and I'm going to be doing so by breaking down a VOD of mine that I just took. It's not the best VOD, I got a lot of kills, but there's definitely room for improvement since I'm slightly coming back to Valorant. So first things first, I want to talk about the guns you should likely be using here if you want to improve your overall mechanics. So out of these three sidearms, I would definitely go with the Ghost. It's just, I mean, it's the one you're probably most commonly going to be using, or that you should be using in comp games. Sheriff, definitely over these two. If you use these two, like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. Sheriff is really difficult to use, right? So if you can get better at this, you're going to be better at whatever other guns you want to use as well. And it's the same thing with Guardian. Now, with the Guardian, you can use Bulldog or Spectre, but again, I would highly recommend the Spectre or the Guardian, just because again, you're attempting to tap, you're attempting to go for the head, you're not trying to spray or burst down people, right? And it's just gonna work on your raw aim. And then again, same thing with Vandal. If you want to go Phantom, that's completely fine. You will see most people go for Vandal just for the same reasons as you'd want to go for the Guardian. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the video and pause whenever I see something that I could have done a little better. Getting good at just kind of holding angles. Here's something that I do incorrectly that I could have done better is, you see I'm kind of expecting him, well, this is not necessarily something I could have done better, but it's something that you can be a little more conscious or aware of whenever you're playing games, is I'm holding and kind of expecting him to peek closer, but if they're actually a good player, they're going to be peeking from farther away, and that's what this Jet does. And you see, because I'm expecting him to be close, I'm actually not at headshot level because he's farther away. So think about like, okay, whenever I'm holding this angle, are they going to be peeking from closer or farther away, and then kind of like make a judgment based on that. I could have aimed a little lower here just to kind of be closer to either if they swing close or long, if that makes sense. But this is just a bit unfortunate, and again, goes right back to crosshair placement, which is really important. Again, you can kind of see me here, like, I'm not sure, do I want to aim down low or do I want to aim up high? Again, kind of, you have to use, like, your intuition. Like, okay, in general, I would say most people are going to peek down low. But if you're in a game where like people are repeatedly swinging up top, then that's something that you'd want to consider. And again, yes, this is deathmatch. I'm overanalyzing a deathmatch game, but in an actual game, do they peek from here? Do they peek from, or from an actual comp game, do they peek from here? Do they peek from like up high? Right? So just being aware of that and like accordingly placing your crosshair. So yeah, I'm peeking from up top there. Something that I do actually have noticed I'm doing a little more since I've been back is, it's not good, is that sometimes I'll shoot a little too fast. So I don't know if I do that right here, but for example, sometimes instead of like taking my time and just tapping, I will like spam shoot, which is not good because it's just gonna mess up your accuracy, even though you're like really trying to kill the person quick, and that's why you usually do that. I think a lot of people actually do this. It's really important with a Ghost, or if you're tapping with like a Vandal or another weapon like the Guardian, to take your time and make sure you're just tapping and not like tapping too quickly. There is a rate at which you want to do that properly. It's like right there, you can see like I'm kind of panicking. It's a great example where I'm just shooting a little too quickly. You can also do that with the Sheriff, so be careful you're not shooting too fast with the Sheriff. That is definitely a thing. And if you're up closer, it doesn't matter as much. So again, crosshair placement here. Again, shooting too fast there. It's something that I've definitely noticed in myself. Like, if you're there, I was a little upset about that, but you can shoot a little faster at close range, but generally just aim for the head. Walks right into my crosshair. Not bad. Yeah, Sheriff is a great weapon that you want to be using. It's definitely a weapon that you want to buy a lot whenever you're playing comp. Whenever you can't afford a weapon or a buy, instead of buying something like a Stinger or, you know, like if you really can't afford anything, you can buy a Shorty. But Sheriff really is like a rifle, but it's like a mini rifle, right? Because, you know, it's a sidearm, but it's extremely powerful whenever in the right hands, and it's absolutely worth picking up and practicing with. And that's exactly what we can do here. So another thing I've noticed with myself, and you guys might do this too, is whenever I'm peeking something like this, like, okay, so there's two people. One, you shouldn't really be peeking directly into two people. Like, ideally, you'd be isolating one of these people. But this is team deathmatch, so it's not like the biggest deal that I'm peeking like this. So what I would recommend instead here is to, you'll notice I'm shooting at the Clove initially, and then I start shooting at the Phoenix for some reason, right? So my flaw, I think here, and I've noticed that I've done this as well, is I'm like shifting between enemies, right? So you want to kill one person, and ideally, like at the subconscious level, you're gonna want to pick the person that's like best to kill. And in this case, you might think it's the Phoenix, but I actually think the best person to kill here would be the Clove, because the Clove is the one that's looking at me, and the Phoenix is the one that's not looking at me. So if I'm gonna shoot the Phoenix, I have a better chance of dying sooner to the Clove, even though he's farther away. And you see I shift again, so it's just like, even if I hit them both a few times, they might not both be dead. I could hit them both for 110 and then get no kills, right? That was pretty bad. Again, that just goes back to shooting too quickly, right? You just gotta have a little patience. There, I was gonna E, but died too quickly. I'm flashing. There, I'm just shooting too quickly again. And guys, it's kind of, it really is a bit difficult, like whenever you're used to shooting like this, to actually stop doing this. I don't know why I do this, it's just automatic for me. I'm like, I see them and I just want to kill them, right? Like, you want to kill them quickly, but try to understand and associate that, or try to understand that shooting quicker is not associated with killing someone faster, right? It's actually kind of the opposite. Like, the more you shoot with this weapon, at least with like most of the weapons in this game, it's not going to get you kills quicker. It's actually going to make it harder if you get the kills in most cases, unless you're lucky. Same thing with spraying in a lot of cases. Like, if you're spraying with a Vandal or a Phantom from long range, it's actually going to be better for you to kind of wait, like burst or tap is what I'm trying to say here. So don't do what I'm doing here. Like, all you need is one shot. Just remember that. This is obviously something that I struggle with as well right now. It's something that I'll fix very quickly, but becoming aware of it's the first thing. That's a bit better there. Again, it's kind of spraying there. You can spray, like, if you want to spray, that's fine, but yeah, my aim is just not super crisp, but again, I've only been playing for a few days, so so just a little mini Reyna tip here. Whenever you throw a flash, you have to wait until the flash is fully formed. So see, like right here, it's not quite fully formed in order for them to be flashed. Like right here, now it's fully formed, right? So you can throw it and then peek before it fully forms, and they can still see you. And good players know this, and they'll hold until the flash is actually fully formed. And if you do it, if you peek incorrectly, you can actually die. And this is something that I've also been kind of being a little sloppy with. So make sure that you're not doing that whenever you're flashing as Reyna. Odin is a super scary weapon. whenever it's in the right hands. It's really, it can be really annoying to go against, especially if someone's spamming with it. There, that should have been a second free kill on the Phoenix. Yeah, it seems like a lot of these kills I've actually been body shotting, and that's something else to be aware of. So really making a conscious effort to like try to tap their heads, and it really does work if you really make a conscious effort to just like, okay, I'm gonna try to hit their heads here instead of like just doing whatever I'm doing unconsciously, which is like spraying and aiming for the body. It might not always be the easiest for you at first, but it's absolutely going to be worth it in the long term. So I highly recommend giving that a chance. Go like that, I just start kind of spraying. So again, it's okay to spray sometimes, but like if you do that a lot, you notice yourself doing that a lot, especially if you're crouch spraying, it's generally worth just not and practicing headshotting more. So a pretty good game. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know, and I'll be more than glad to answer them and make other content if you want others. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.